Hello, I'm Debbie Bell-Hosking for FinextraTV at MPE 2024 in Berlin. And I'm joined by Martin Pitcock of Nexi and Katarina Lushnik of Mastercard. So welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Hot off the press, on the eve of MPE, you both made an announcement. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, we announced our new partnership actually yesterday with Mastercard. Nexi and Mastercard teaming up for open banking. We chose Mastercard as our strategic supplier for open banking services across Europe, actually. So we're integrating Mastercard's open banking services and we're integrating them into our gateways across Europe. So it's a pretty big deal for us, actually. 5 years, a lot of investment behind it on both sides, and hopefully we're really successful in actually getting open banking scaled up and rolled out across all of our merchants over the next 12 to 18 months.
Indeed. That's the ambition behind the cooperation, yeah. So we are really looking forward.
Great, so lots of exciting things to come. Let's chat more about open banking and think about what the specific benefits are to merchants and consumers.
Yeah, I think specific advantages that need to be called out for merchants specifically is for sure speed, security, and trust. So open banking is based on instant payment networks across Europe, and this somehow gives merchant access to instant payments. It's a lot about efficiency. Integration is super efficient based on an API-first approach, and the trust effect security aspect comes in also for consumers, since somehow security is embedded in the open banking payment experience to a certain extent that we are relying on strong customer authentication. We are relying on transaction monitoring driven by the banks mainly. So it's a super secure concept of payment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think maybe taking a slightly alternative angle as well, maybe comparing it to what existed before. But we had card payments. Everyone obviously used to using cards everywhere. Open banking, as you said, provides actually increased speed. So for merchants it's better. They get the money in their pocket faster. It's even moving to instant payments now, across Europe, with the network that we have in place. Then for security, it reduces the risk of chargebacks because you're verifying the customer and the person they're paying on both sides using that open banking connection. So there's a lot lower risk. And ultimately, in the end, that also means there's a lower cost for the merchant. So it's not only about the cost, the speed and the security aspects are really quite strong, but actually the cost aspect's a big play for the merchants as well.
And maybe also embedded payment experience, because open banking tends to be super embedded in a way that how you can integrate open banking payments, but we can also empower a lot of use cases, including invoice payments, for instance, so not specifically only checkout. And here the embedment of the experience is also quite advantageable for consumers. They somehow even do not need to take care how to pay, they just click and pay.
Yeah. And you mentioned checkout there. So why is convenience so critical in the customer journey, particularly at the point of checkout?
Yes, it's extremely important. I think when you look back into history, basically the reason it gets so important is because of the conversion aspect for merchants. So convenience, people want to choose the payment method they like, they find it easy to interact with, and it's typically the one that they can interact with and use in the most or least possible steps, right? So we really see that the convenience at checkout is extremely important. I think with open banking specifically, over the time, we're still seeing an evolution. We're reasonably early on in the journey and that actually open banking's been on. So in some countries, a little bit more advanced, say Finland and Poland, where banking payments has been the traditional banking, the way that people pay online for decades, right? They're very well advanced, the banks are all well integrated, they've got very good experiences. But in other countries in Europe, it's taken a little bit more time for that kind of experience to actually get up to speed. And we're really starting to see a really positive inflection point now, where merchants are actually starting to see the benefits and the systems, the infrastructure is actually starting to get better that banks are providing. So it provides that kind of really slick, easy to use checkout experience.
Now let's come full circle in our conversation back to the Mastercard-Nexi partnership. How is it benefiting both companies? And also, let's look ahead at how it's progressing.
Yeah, I think we are really two companies with global brand awareness, and we also have quite specific focus points for Mastercard, acting as a scheme, acting as a infrastructure platform since decades. We are uniquely positioned, as Martin mentioned. It's a long-term journey as well. So our ambition is to somehow closely collaborate with the banks, further improve the API quality of the banking network, but also work closely with our partners like Nexi, and Nexi having the specific access to merchants and consumers. And we just think that our collaboration between a trusted brand as Mastercard is also somehow give the consumers the trust needed to somehow choose open banking, maybe against other payment methods. That's for sure something where Nexi will benefit. And second thing, our unique position in the close collaboration with the banks at the end and acting as the underlying connectivity and infrastructure provider. And here we are well equipped and very experienced in providing system critical infrastructure, whereas Nexi can really concentrate on the customer experience, on the merchant integration, working closely with the Nexi merchants.
Yeah, we've, I guess, looking ahead maybe at the vision of what we were trying to achieve when we reached out about the open banking partnership. I guess we see the change, right? Like I think we're all hoping that we can provide consumers and merchants better certainty, more speed, like a better service at the end of the day. And I think when we were speaking, it was quite clear that actually exactly what Katarina had said, the merchant experience that we have and then the infrastructure experience that MasterCard had is a perfect partnership for us, like to look at how we might make that work across Europe at scale. So yeah, really excited about the new partnership. Looking forward to it.
Great. Well, on that positive note, Martin, Katarina, thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie.